Well, first off, I just want to repeat full disclosure that people who have followed me here on YouTube and have followed me on various podcasts, they know my stance on PEDs, and I've never ever taken a moral high ground against PEDs. But what I have stated is if athletes are going to agree and subject themselves to WADA testing or USADA testing or any outside organization, that they have to be held to those rules and standards, which I believe Alexander Povetkin and Deontay Wilder both agreed to. So on those grounds and on that basis, I always believed that if either man got caught with an illegal substance in their system, whether or not what I believe and what I don't believe from a moral standpoint about PEDs, that goes out the window, because if you sign a contract and you agree to something, then you should be bound to the rules and agreement of that contract. But on another note, this whole story has taken so many twists and turns, and people have come out and made claims and said certain things. For the record, I've never come out and called Alexander Povetkin a cheater because, in my opinion, as I've said numerous times, and not to sound redundant, I believe that just about everyone in this sport at the top level is taking some sort of banned substance. That's just my opinion. Can I prove it? No, but circumstantial evidence and empirical data in my mind that I've gathered suggests that to me. So I can't come out and totally defame any one athlete, and I'm not going to do that. But WADA totally fucked this whole thing up because they put a drug on the banned substance list that they know very little about. They've done very little research on it, and to my knowledge, what I've looked over and kind of combed the internet and saw various stories on this, WADA has never ever done true in-depth research on this drug to really know how long it stays in an athlete's system. So for them to come out and put out various statements, first off, about having an allowable limit of 1 microgram, and then also putting a January 1st deadline, and then switching that January 1st deadline to an October 1st deadline, and then even admittedly saying that we have not done any excretion studies on this drug. For them to put all that information out there, it totally makes them look incompetent. Whether or not this drug really has any beneficial effects to an athlete is still open to debate, but the fact that this was put on the banned substance list and was made to believe that it was a PED according to WADA, and them admitting that they have done little to no research on this drug, and then also putting out contradicting statements or ever-changing statements on this drug in terms of what's allowed and what's not allowed, changing up deadlines. They really fucked this whole thing up, and if anyone owes anybody an apology, it's them. They need to apologize to Alexander Povetkin, and they need to apologize to Deontay Wilder, and they need to apologize to all the fans out there for really, really making this whole fucking thing a mess. So whether or not you're on one side or the other, you're on Deontay Wilder's side or you're on Alexander Povetkin's side, looking at this from a totally unbiased point of view, the one group that should be held over the fire here and should be criticized is WADA. Simple and plain. So if anyone's angry about the series of events that have taken place since this whole drug testing bullshit has come about, let's blame WADA. Let's blame WADA for fucking up, because supposedly everyone has a source regarding this story, but WADA keeps changing the story. So, how accurate and how reliable are these sources if WADA doesn't have a firm grasp on if this drug is a PED or not, number one, and number two, they don't know how long it stays in the athlete's system, and number three, the 1 microgram limit, how did they come up with that allowable amount without having done the research or any type of investigation on just how helpful this drug or could be to an athlete. So they're just basically making claims off of, I don't know, a hypothesis without actually doing the research. So, again, there's not much more I can say about it. I just think that after reading everything and going over everything, that WADA is to blame and they're the main culprit in all of this confusion out there. Well, until next time, Beeb is out. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.